A gazillion years ago, a Bungie dev once said this.
In Halo 1, there was maybe 30 seconds of fun that happened over and over and over and over again. So if you can get 30 seconds of fun, you can pretty much stretch that out to be an entire game.
That has got to be one of the most important quotes in video game history. 30 seconds of fun. I personally struggle to think of a game that doesn't have this design philosophy rammed into its center, and I realize now that all the games that I adore not only subscribe to this belief, but embrace it in earnest. Nowadays, you're probably way more familiar with the far less flowery version of the quote, the core gameplay loop. But I think that phrase ignores the importance of fun, however. Now, with that incredibly pretentious opener out of the way, let's talk about that title down there that's likely already crumpled to giblets. Hell Let Loose Prepare to Die Edition is a hardcore World War II game that tries its darndest to simulate a battle from yonder year. Hell Let Loose does this by putting everyone into squads, giving them little roles to perform, and then sending them out on their merry way into one of the most grueling games I have ever played.
There must be people nearby, OP.
Yeah, there is.
Yep, definitely.
Hell Let Loose is totally defined by 3 things. And the first one is combat. Combat is pretty good for a hardcore game. Most of the time hardcore games are super clunky on purpose, so as to simulate your soldiers struggling with everything. Thankfully, that ain't here. Fights in Hell Let Loose are brutal. People die in just one bullet, stray gunfire, or even just being in the same continent that an explosion goes off in. How you handle these fights is totally different depending on the class you play as. Machine gunners, for instance, exist purely to give people Normandy flashbacks. Automatic riflemen and assault push lines like Hunter S. Thompson, and the rifleman classes are good at all ranges. Unless you've got a bolty in close range. Enjoy staring at that deploy screen for a while. The shooting and weapon mechanics are clean. Whether or not you're being shot or shooting at someone else, the sound design and the suppression make for exhilarating gameplay.
What do you call a deer with no eyes?
No idea.
Blind.
Hell Let Loose is nothing without its cooperative players. Yes, communication in Hell Let Loose is the most important thing. Proper communication can have tanks repaired, points fortified, and squads flanking to build spawn points. And commanders bitching and moaning like the guild leaders of old. Some things never change. Teams and squads who don't communicate just lose. It's that simple. Hell Let Loose does a really good job of simulating a realistic World War II battle. And a battle is not won without comms. To aid you in this, you have 3 different ways to communicate. Red, blue, and green. Do you understand? Blue is for proximity chat, so you can let everyone around you know how angry you are.
You're gonna need to move, I'm gonna run you out, you f***ing. Do you not understand I'm trying to get supplies in? Are you f***ing serious? God damn, the people in this game f***ing suck.
Green chat is for squads to communicate and help each other win games. It's basically the Chad chat. And officer chat is so that the commander and other squads can communicate. I like the system, but the way it's implemented right now just gives me a throbbing headache. In a battle, it can just be everyone talking into your ears at all times. Officer chat is just not my thing, so I'm not going to comment on the leadership roles that use them very much. They work. That's what matters. Hell Let Loose's classes give you wildly different experiences, and unfortunately they are all needed. I say unfortunately because some of the roles are just not fun whatsoever. I spent around 70% of one game just running around building and fortifying places as the engineer. That was around half an hour of hammering, building, and driving supply trucks back and forth. But to me, this stuff isn't rewarding. I mean, you can take satisfaction in knowing that you probably did a huge portion in helping your team win the game. But if doing actual work makes you win games, I don't want to play them. I sort of play games to avoid doing work. On the flip side, you have fun things like sniper and spotter teams, which go behind enemy lines and sneak around, destroy artillery, and just generally being a nuisance. That's the good stuff. More of that, please. I'll use tanks here as an example. Playing in a tank crew is awesome. When you're in the thick of it or performing your role correctly, it is some of the best gameplay you can have. The teamwork really shines through here, but there is a huge amount of downtime. If you die, you have to respawn all the way back at your main line and then drive the tank all the way to the front. In this game, I spent a total of 3 minutes in combat. That's from the first shot fired to the death that I had there. And the amount of time I spent waiting was 14 minutes. 3 minutes of gameplay, 14 minutes of driving around and waiting. Ugh. The peaks are so high in this game, but the lows are just so diminishing. Playing this game is an exercise in patience. The 30 seconds of fun is definitely there and it's great, but you have to put so much effort in to find it. There's just so much waiting at all times. In my last video I said Insurgency was refreshing. Do you know why it's refreshing? It's because it knows how to perfectly toe the line between so easy it's boring and ultra unfun mechanics that are now defined by their tedium. Dark Souls, GTFO, Terraria, Hunt Showdown, RimWorld. These are all games that have done the same thing perfectly. Have just the right amount of difficulty so that the victories become more rewarding. To me, Hell Let Loose just swan dives straight into the negative. And it's not even that it's difficult, it's mainly just the busy work and the waiting that gets under my skin. In my experience with Hell Let Loose, I had so many fun and memorable moments where interesting and organic, awesome gameplay occurred. But there is just this diminishing quality that ruins it and brings it down for me. This feeling of just being so exhausted after a couple hours of playing it. You receive 3 kills in 15 seconds of a good time. And then you'll die. But you'll also receive a 40-second respawn timer, which you won't spawn on because you didn't confirm deployment. Then, after waiting another 40 seconds, you'll have to run 4 minutes towards the new battlefront, upon which you'll get shot and die to stray machine gun fire. The next enemy you see will be 10 minutes away, and he'll kill you instantly. And then as you're about to spawn, your squad leader will ask you to build nodes for your commander. I am quite over this game. To review it correctly would take another 20 minutes of your time. I still have so much to discuss. Tank rolls, spawn systems, supplies, resources, driving, the many different classes, and the squads and how they fit together. But I have no more desire to review this game in earnest. It's just taken it out of me.
What? How did I shoot whilst I was what the fuck?
It actually made me tilted a couple times, which barely ever happens anymore. So, we're gonna do a lightning round of all the stuff in this game that frustrated me to hell and back. To hell!
Wow.
The game runs like shit, and the game will stutter all the time if you don't have an SSD. You get caught on terrain that you should be able to traverse, and it happens constantly. If you're gonna mount a bipod on a surface, you're gonna need a D20 to roll a bipod check, because bad results include, but are not limited to, not being able to mount on anything, mounting up inside the ground, or not being able to rotate your gun nearly as far as it should. Because reasons. Look, it's bad, it's brokey, please fix it. Going prone and looking like the biggest target that ever did exist, this is literally the opposite of what I wanted. Bolt cycling will sometimes just happen on its own, and you won't know because the animation won't play. So there are plenty of times where I've almost killed a teammate trying to cycle a bolt that has apparently already been done. Just watch the clip, you'll see.
See? It just did it again, what the f***?
Hit registration sometimes just unprograms itself, I guess. Thank you! When you get Stalingrad, when you get Kursk, server queue limits of 5 draw distance, just allowing enemies to hide in f***ing blobs, not being able to build stuff in places that clearly should allow it, and finally, the penultimate thing that gets under my skin, a tale as old as time, spawn die.
Why?
Overall, Hell Let Loose is a game where you'll experience some of the most intense and gripping battles in all that gaming has to offer. And when it's good, it is good. Incredible even. But those moments are fleeting, and you'll only ever get to experience them if you're willing to pay the price and play the rest of the game. Aside from a couple bugs and a few quality of life choices, I actually don't want Hell Let Loose to change. I think it's a product made with genuine sincerity. It seems as well that this rant at this point is going to age poorly as well. The publishers have already come out and said that they are going to be doing lots of things with Hell Let Loose. And so, I really honestly wish them the best of luck. I think the things that Hell Let Loose gets right, you can't find at that quality anywhere else, and it's definitely worth investing in. It doesn't have this feeling of existing only to slowly steal my pension. It's raw, and it only sets out to do one thing, and it does it unapologetically, which I have a great deal of respect for. There's plenty of people who love this game to death, and they are just totally justified. I mean, shit, I sort of want to play some more despite all the negatives I just said earlier, but I know that my experience is totally going to be determined by what map I end up playing. If some of the maps were better, it would be a wildly different video. I'll likely come back to this game in a couple years, because if it changes as much as its roadmap and publisher says it's going to, it's going to be a very interesting experience to come back and see where my current review and my future one differ. I have a stupid lizard brain that needs a little more stimulation to keep me thoroughly entertained. The game has so many good parts, but those good parts do not outweigh the soul-crushing tedium and just the sheer amount of boredom you gotta go through. War is a shitty experience for everyone involved. And right now I think Hell Let Loose emulates that part perfectly. Unironically, this has got to be one of the hardest videos I've ever made. I flip-flop so much from fucking loving it to hating it to loving it to hating it. It's just... I feel like I'm giving off mixed signals here. Am I? Am I giving off mixed signals? You'd tell me if I was, right? Anyway, I'm Flexafunk, and thanks for watching my video. I really appreciate it. My work is going to be cut out for me over the next couple months. Elden Ring, Dying Light 2, and Total War Warhammer 3. Ooh, it's gonna be a busy one. This is definitely gonna be one of those videos where people tell me I played the game wrong. I still get those comments on my Terraria video, by the way. Yes, hello, I see you there. I know you're better than me. Thanks for letting me know. Now please like the video.
Do your thing, boys. Oh, Russ, how are you, mate? Sorry for screaming at you like 4 hours ago.
Seeing imagery on ping.
You don't remember me, do you, Russ?
Copy on my way.
Is Russ short for Lehman Russ?
No, it's not, but I do know the character. I like 40k.
Yeah. You don't remember me, do you?
No, I don't, but
Your amazing,
that's
your amazing barricade building skills allowed me to understand that you can actually drive supply trucks through them.
Oh, okay, so that was you earlier.
Yeah. I was like, mate, stop!
What the fuck have you just done?
Yeah, that was exactly... Oh, fuck, that's fucking funny as shit. Alright, I'm putting this in the video, you mind?